Ito ang Tunog Marino, live broadcasting from ZSCMST Campus sa Zamboanga City. News, music, and entertainment. 106.7 Marino News FM. Marino News FM. Sisi na.
106.7 Marino FM. Sisit na.
The anchor's views and statements on the preceding program does not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Zamboanga State College of Marine Sciences and Technology, Philippine Broadcasting Service, Marino News FM Management and staff.
Okay, buenas tardes a todos. Good afternoon everyone. Maayong hapon sa tanan. Magandang hapon po. Once again, this is Roderick Duco Trio and I'm on board for this afternoon's segment for our environmental awareness activities. Actually, this is being sponsored by the National Service Training Center headed by our NSTP coordinator, si Ma'am Van Tumanda. Of course, I would like also to greet our NSTP teachers who are here. Although we are online, but they're still here with us to support the program. Of course, I would like also to extend greetings to our CSC MST management headed by our college president, Dr. Jaime Gihalon, our vice presidents, Dr. Miguel, Dr. Rolando Samson, Dr. Catalina Martinez. Muy buenas tardes a todos. Of course, all the strong men and women, our faculty members, and of course our non-teaching personnels. Good afternoon everyone. Keep the flame from burning. Keep all our desires to help our students to be able to cope with this pandemic. And of course, we would like also to greet our tennissters who are there right now in our tennis court. They're having their so-called tournament headed by, of course, our very own Lando Kitikitik Bisaya. Sir Lando and your team for your tennis competition. So, muy buenas tardes to all the participants out there. When I passed by, I saw that they're having their lunch and I guess they still have their games later on. Okay? And of course to our beloved students, our CSC MST students out there who are listening, I hope you are doing well and I hope you're safe and I hope you're very, very healthy. Be healthy always. Modules are there, your online classes are there, but chill. Chill lang. Don't be, I would not say that you won't be that serious, but again, at the end of the line, we can always survive all of this. We all can survive. So be positive. Positive with your outlook, positive with your work, positive with your feelings and emotions, okay? Get away from stressful situation, get away from depression. This will not help us combat COVID-19. See, COVID is just there. We don't know where. Sabi nga nila, this is a war against, you don't know who is your opponent. But of course, every situation counts on how we protect ourselves. Always remember the health protocols that we keep on telling you, and we, of course, our IITF, both national and local, are reminding us on the health protocols. So with that, we will be able to really combat the prevention and spread of COVID-19. Okay, so before we go forward, we'd like to extend our condolence to the family of the late Amelia Ledesma, our dear professor in chemistry, Ma'am Ami, as we fondly call her. We would like to extend our deepest sympathy. Your saddened damage is a loss to the system. Of course, you had your retirement from us, but still we can always count on you whenever we needed your presence in school. Of course, again, we are praying for the family and we are praying that you're going to rest with our Creator. with all the happiness that you had and in life. Again, condolence to the family of the late Amelia Ledesma. Okay? So let's keep on praying for her. Okay, so this time we would like also to remind our community, our CSCMST community, as to how we could prevent, again, the spread of COVID-19 in the campus. As we keep on telling you, always start your precautionary measures at home. Before we leave our homes, we need to recheck, reevaluate ourselves. Am I healthy? Am I fit to go to work? Because if I'm not, if I have the signs, I'll rather stay at home, treat myself, inform my superiors, tell them that I'll do my work from home, because this is part of our protocols. The policy of government is thrown to the IATF for us to be able to follow. So prevention starts from us, from home, to the vehicle that we are riding, to the public utility that we are using also. So we need to be very conscious so that when we arrive CSCMST, we could fondly say that I'm healthy, I'm not a carrier of the virus, and I will not be the so-called reason why my co-workers are infected with the virus. So this is what we call self-responsibility.
Correct ka dyan.
When we are responsible in our actions, then we are not going to point fingers at others if we have such a problem, because no one is perfect. No one is invincible. All are prone to this because we never know. Accordingly to DOH, all are suspects. If we are healthy, then we can say that the virus is away from us. And the virus might be sleeping, but we are healthy. So we need to keep ourselves healthy. Okay? So with that, this afternoon, again, is a continuation of the series of information campaign. At the same time, the lectures online hosted by the National Service Training Center. So last time we were talking about the protocols. We're talking about how we could be able to combat situations. And this time, we are going to talk about environment. We're talking about climate change. We're talking about safety. How can we help as an individual? What will be our responsibility? Are we just telling the government, it's your responsibility to take good care of the environment? I don't care. I was born in this world and I have the right to live. But at the end of the line, who caused damages to our Mother Earth? Sino ba ang may kasalanan? Si Engineer Lapinia ba? We like also to greet the men and women of Marino News FM 106.7. Of course, Engineer April Lapinia here, our station manager. And of course, our supervising manager, Sister Reynaldine Dahay, radio operator Dahay, and of course, one of our supporting staff here, si Dudong Tulio. Dudong kay bataon man siya, di man siya gusto patawag og sir. Pero kusog kay manunlog. Mo nag-ingon nga naa lang kay oras. Okay, so again to the men and women, for the men supporting Marino News FM 106.7. Good afternoon and thank you so much for assisting us and for us to be able to extend support to our students on air. So again, once again to our students, I hope you're listening. The time slot is given 1 o'clock until 2:30 is really a sleepy time. I know that you are having your rest now, but part of your responsibility as a student is to listen. Makinig para meron kayong i-answer sa module nyo pag present na sa inyo ang module ni Ma'am Van Tumanda and the rest of our NSTP teachers. Of course, we would like also to greet our friends from the different SUKs that we have in Zamboanga City, Western Mindanao State University. Good afternoon. Also, greetings to the President, Dr. Carla Ochotorena, si Ma'am Carla. And of course, the Zamboanga City State Polytechnic College, and soon they will be Zamboanga Peninsula Polytechnic State University. Congratulations, and of course, more challenges to come, and I know it's not really easy to be challenged with the name that we have now. Of course, to our friends out there, of course, the president of the college, Dr. Nelson T. Cabral. Sir, good afternoon. And Ma'am Christine, Ma'am Jo, Ma'am Marialine, and all the friends that we have in the Zamboanga City State Polytechnic College. Muy buenas tardes a todas. Okay, so are we ready now? Are our students ready to listen, to watch online? Actually, we are also on live streaming now with our FB account on Marino News FM 106.7. So to our students, we will be flashing some videos in our live streaming, and of course you can listen it also through here, because we will be talking about climate change, environment, protection. What is our role? What happened to the environment? What causes it? Okay? So of course we would like also to extend greetings to Ma'am Beth Hamiro. I guess she is listening now. Last time she said, Ricky, all I thought, hindi kasi Ricky Boy Blue. Okay? So to Ma'am Beth and all our students also, our marineros, our seamen who are on board their vessels. Actually, they are also watching our live streaming. They even keep in touch. Sir, shout out naman sa batch 36 daw sa BSMT. Okay, I'm not really privy with whose batch is that, but again, to all our graduates, to all our alumni, again, it came into my mind on December 9, or this first Saturday of December is supposed to be our grand alumni homecoming. But because of COVID-19, I guess we need to forego first this activity. But of course, our President, Sir Dr. Richie Hibionada, is also planning some activities for us. Okay? So, before we go further, I guess we are going to have our first video, and of course we listen. What causes climate change, or what is climate change all about? This is what we call Climate Change 101. Okay, sir, engineer, please.
Human activities, from pollution to overpopulation, are driving up the Earth's temperature and fundamentally changing the world around us. The main cause is a phenomenon known as the greenhouse effect. Gases in the atmosphere, such as water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and chlorofluorocarbons, let the sun's light in, but keep some of the heat from escaping, like the glass walls of a greenhouse. The more greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, the more heat gets trapped, strengthening the greenhouse effect and increasing the Earth's temperature. Human activities, like the burning of fossil fuels, have increased the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere by more than a third since the Industrial Revolution. The rapid increase in greenhouse gases in the atmosphere has warmed the planet at an alarming rate. While Earth's climate has fluctuated in the past, atmospheric carbon dioxide hasn't reached today's levels in hundreds of thousands of years. Climate change has consequences for our oceans, our weather, our food sources, and our health. Ice sheets, such as Greenland and Antarctica, are melting. The extra water that was once held in glaciers causes sea levels to rise and spills out of the oceans, flooding coastal regions. Warmer temperatures also make weather more extreme. This means not only more intense major storms, floods, and heavy snowfall, but also longer and more frequent droughts. These changes in weather pose challenges. Growing crops becomes more difficult. The areas where plants and animals can live shift, and water supplies are diminished. In addition to creating new agricultural challenges, climate change can directly affect people's physical health. In urban areas, the warmer atmosphere creates an environment that traps and increases the amount of smog. This is because smog contains ozone particles, which increase rapidly at higher temperatures. Exposure to higher levels of smog can cause health problems such as asthma, heart disease, and lung cancer. While the rapid rate of climate change is caused by humans, humans are also the ones who can combat it. If we work to replace fossil fuels with renewable energy sources like solar and wind, which don't produce greenhouse gas emissions, we might still be able to prevent some of the worst effects of climate change.
Okay, thank you very much. That's a part of our National Geographic inputs. Again, we have one more video before we discuss further as to the issues and concern on climate change. Okay, sir?
Sapat na ang nalalaman natin. Oras na para gumawa ng desisyon. Pag-angkop sa pagbabago ng klima o climate change. Ano ibig sabihin nito? Hinubog ng klima ang ating pamumuhay nitong mga nakaraang panahon. Kaya anong bago sa pag-angkop sa climate change ngayon? Hindi ba dapat ay pagtuunan na lang natin ang mga suliranin gaya ng edukasyon, kawalan ng magandang trabaho at pag-unlad ng ekonomiya? Matagal nang nagbabago ang klima, tama yun. Ilang beses na nagkakaroon ng matinding taglamig at tagtuyot sa kasaysayan ng mundo. Pero dahil sa walang habas na pagpapakawala ng ating mga industriya ng mga greenhouse gas, mas mabilis ang pag-init ng panahon dito sa daigdig. Kitang-kita na ang epekto ng pagbabago ng klima. Mas mabilis na natutunaw ang mga niebe, tumataas ang level ng karagatan, mapapansin ding mas dumarami na ang matinding bagyo o tagtuyot. Lahat ng mga ito ay mapaminsala sa ating kabuhayan at mga tahanan. Winawasak nito ang mga infrastruktura at nasisira ang komunikasyon at kalakalan. Naapektuhan rin ang pagbabago-bago ng klima ang mga gawaing pangkaunlatan na pilit nating pinalalakas para iangat ang katayuan ng mga mahihirap at salat sa buhay. Tama mga kaibigan, nandito na ang climate change. Pabago-bago na ang panahon. Nasa ating mga kamay kung tuluyan itong lalawig sa buong mundo. Sapat na ba ang pagbawas natin sa mga carbon emissions? Hindi sagot ang pagpigil sa carbon emissions sa suliranin natin sa climate change. Sobrang dami na ng greenhouse gases kaya hindi agad-agara ang pagbalik sa dati ng klima. Mas tamang habang pinabawasan natin ang greenhouse gases, umaangkop naman tayong lahat sa climate change. Pero paano naman natin gagawin yun? Hindi natin natitiyak kung anong magiging klima sa hinaharap. Dahil ang pagbabago ng klima ay desisyon natin. Kailangan pa ba nating makasiguro sa kahihinatnan ng ating bayan dahil sa climate change para makagawa tayo ng angkop na desisyon? Hindi! Gumagawa tayo ng desisyon batay sa ating mga karanasan, datos at pananaw. Kahit na hindi tayo nakatitiyak kung ano ang ating magiging kinabukasan. Kaya kahit hindi tayo lubusang nakatitiyak sa magiging pagbabago ng klima sa hinaharap, meron na tayong sapat na kaalaman para kumilos ng tama. Pero ano nga ba talaga ang kailangan nating gawing kakaiba? Unang-una, dapat lagi nating isaisip ang epekto ng climate change sa kasalukuyan at sa hinaharap. Ang mga tinatayang pagbabago ng klima o climate projections ay hindi nangangahulugan ng mga konkretong strategiya, pero maaari natin ito maging gabay sa pagpaplano. Dapat isaalang-alang natin kung paano maapektuhan ng climate change ang mga planong pangkaunlaran, mga polisiya at proyekto, at kung paano rin maaaring palalain ng mga ito ang pagbabago ng klima. Isang posibleng epekto ng climate change ay ang pagbabago ng pag-ulan. Maaaring maging sanhi ito ng tagtuyot at pagbaha, minsan sa isang lugar lamang. Kaya dapat ay isipin natin kung paano gumawa ng land use plan na maaaring iangkop sa mga hamon ng panahon. Anong klaseng pag-angkop ang maaaring ilapat para hindi gaano ang epekto ng tagtuyot at sobrang pag-ulan sa kabuhayan ng mga Pilipino? Ang mga lungsod sa gilid ng karagatan ay maaaring makaranas ng pagtaas ng level ng tubig. Ano ang dapat gawin ng mga urban planner upang gawing matatag ang mga syudad laban sa tsunami, storm surges at baha? Ano ba ang pamantayan sa pagpili ng adaptation option? Dapat klaro ang mga ito, nasusukat at tanggap ng publiko. Maaaring gamitin ang mga basehang ito upang malaman kung ano ang mas dapat unahin. Kahandaan mo sa pagbaha, pagsasaayos ng mga kanal, o ang pagpapanumbalik ng mga bakawan. Isang proseso ang pag-angkop sa nagbabagong klima, kaya kailangan laging pinag-iibayo ang kahandaan. Laging isinasama dapat ang pag-angkop sa mga usaping pagpaplano. Maraming mga impormasyon naman sa mga babasahin sa internet, gaya nung sa CI Grasp website. Kailangan bawasan natin ang pagbuga ng greenhouse gas at umangkop tayo sa climate change. At kailangan ng ating sama-samang pagkilos ngayon na. Ipaunawa natin sa lahat ang climate change at ang halaga ng pag-angkop ng buong lipunan. Ito ang mga unang hakbang sa pagiging handa. Tandaan, mas mabuti ang maging laging handa. Sabi nga ng marami, nasa huli ang pagsisisi. Marami na tayong karanasan. Ngayon na ang oras para umangkop.
Okay. So, there you have it. We heard again, what's climate change? What causes climate change? Who's responsible of climate change? Actually, one of the made mention issues there is that climate change is a product of human activity. So, who can also be the reason to combat it is again human activity as well. Okay, so the issues on climate change is not anymore a new fact to us. This has been with us for decades already. Actually, we are just trying to reprocess now if what measures we have done 10 years or 20 years or 30 years ago, was it effective? To our students now, if you have some questions to us for us to be able to answer you, you can also give us your opinions in our live streaming. We will be waiting for that. But again, what causes climate change? Accordingly, it's the overproduction of our greenhouse gases. What are those greenhouse gases? The water vapor, the carbon dioxide, the nitrous oxide, the methane, and another issues and concern. Actually, these are all good factors to protect Mother Earth. But the issue there is we overly produce those greenhouse gases. Because, simple analogy, when we are going to cook rice, diba? When our rice is almost to cook, there is evaporation. Okay, the releasing of this, the evaporation of the, if your rice cooker has a glass top, makikita mo how it produces the effect. So it's just the same. Our Mother Earth has its layer that protects the direct contact of the sun for us to be protected. When it gets into those greenhouse gases, helps to protect the release of this of the rays of the sun. But the issue there, because of too much production of our greenhouse gases, hindi na ngayon nakakalabas yung init na pumapasok sa mundo. Kasi natatrap na siya. Ang layer natin is already full of these gases that does not allow the release of the warmness brought to us by haring araw. So it means our temperature keep on warming and warming as we go older. Again, let me rephrase or let me remind everyone, climate change issues are not anymore new. This has been with us for almost how many decades? There are even laws, there are even agreements being postered by the world for us to be able to lessen our emission. Because if we do emission more than 2 Celsius, there is no, accordingly, hindi na siya pwedeng ma-revert if it goes higher and higher, the more it is very dreaded to the environment. So, what are we doing now? If it's too hot, if it is summer for us in the Philippines, it's very hot. Ngayon, can you not feel not even summer? It's not only in summer that you feel the warmness of the temperature, but every day already. Pag sinabi nga, pag mainit, grabe kainit, pasok sa buto. Yun ang description. That's why we keep on getting away from the heat of the sun. Expected gani, if you would like to have the vitamins from the sun, have it early morning. After 10 o'clock, you are not supposed to expose yourself to the rays of the sun because it's too much to bear. The more you're going to have skin diseases already. But when COVID came in, this is also the good thing. When COVID-19 came over, the instructions of the Department of Health or any other health practitioners, expose yourself in the rays of the sun at 10 o'clock. 10, 11, or 12 because that's the best rays of the sun that can combat the virus. So, in a way, may ano rin siya, may magandang naidulot. But in any rate, what I'm trying to say, too much of everything is also bad for that. So again, what can we do as a commoner, as a person, as you, our COVID listener? What can you do for us to be able to help our environment? Again, climate change came in. Too much of everything is happening. Sometimes, during nighttime, we felt very cold and we are happy. But as the night goes older, sabi pa natin, pagdating na ng alas 12 or mag-uumaga na, alauna, alas 2, we feel very cold already. You see, we cannot anymore predict if nighttime is colder, if nighttime is humid, if nighttime is warmer. Even early in the morning, we thought it's still dawn. We felt na it is colder, but again, we cannot anymore identify because sometimes early morning, mainit na ang pakiramdam, mainit na ang world. Again, this is brought about the sudden change or the change of our temperature. Okay? So, again, how could we be able to support, to combat? How to combat climate change? Again, expert says, whatever actions the world is doing now, we cannot even say if it will work, it will help. But again, there are parameters. What are the things that we're going to do to help Mother Earth? Sabi nga nila before, not necessarily sabi nila, because of our carbon emission, we need to do carpooling. Yung mga nagkokotse dyan, dapat hindi lang ikaw ang nasa loob ng kotse, dapat yung maximize. Sa isang pamilya na may dalawa yung kotse or tatlo yung kotse, dapat isa na lang ang gagamitin, carpooling. Diba? Para sabay-sabay, para isa na lang yung emission. Pero si COVID nang dumating, hindi dapat marami sa kotse. So again, the complexity of the situation. How are we going to do that? Maglakad na lang kung pwede. Okay? So these are issues and concerns that our authorities in climate change gave us. For us to minimize emission, we stop using vehicle that is one major impact on carbon dioxide. Again, our factories, what energy are they using? Are they using electricity that is being supported by air and by water? Again, that is renewable energy. Or are they using the so-called the sunlight for that? Or they're using fossil fuels again. Okay? These are contributory factors. So, akal mga coil factories di aton mga company that you're using this, I guess we need to be very much concerned. There should always be counterfeit on how for us to be able to lessen the emission of carbon dioxide in our atmosphere. Okay, at the end of the day, we as a Philippines, if you're going to note, kokonti lang ng emission natin. Pero kung sa lahat ng kokonting epekto ay magkasabay-sabay, naging malaki na siya. Diba? So, every single individual has a role to play for us to be able to contribute to whatever effect it will be to our environment. Okay, let's just wag na tayong pumunta ng medyo malayo. Let's talk about Zamboanga State College on Marine Sciences and Technology. What efforts have we done for us to be able to support the preservation and preservation of Mother Earth, for example? What have we done? Number one, we were just awarded as an means. We help the community by planting more trees, by segregating our waste, by being responsible to our actions. One is we are also having our mangrove forest, and accordingly our mangroves are really helpful in trapping the carbon dioxide that goes in the atmosphere. So if we keep on doing this activity, then definitely we can do our share. Of course, on Saturday, that is December 6, I guess, we are going to have another tree planting or mangrove planting. This will be our teachers from Talon-Talon. I'm already doing this preemption. They are already asking for support that they were going to do mangrove planting in our Eco Aqua Tourism Park at the other side. So I guess we will try to facilitate because this is an action that is very valuable. Okay? Sabihin na lang natin na 45 of them will be planting 45 mangroves. Times 2, that becomes 90. Again, this is already a big impact to environmental protection. Okay, and of course, we would like to remind our people who are living in the coastal area, wag naman po nating putulin yung mga mangrove trees natin at gawin natin siyang dudong tulyo. Wag natin siyang panggatong. Okay? Wag natin siyang gawing pillar ng bahay. Because it's very strong. Yes, the mangrove trees. That is why it's a very strong support in trapping our carbon dioxide again. Okay, so we have here, si Sir Edibic Rute. Let me read. Good day, Sir Ricky. Tree and mangrove planting is one way to help invest for the environment. Okay, thank you so much, Sir Vic Rute. Pero kambye si Ellie na DepEd, yadehaya ka naton si Sir Vic. But anyway, welcome to the community still, Sir Vic, of being an environmentalist. Thank you so much, Sir Vic Rute. He is also on board with us. Okay, so yun. Before, we used to use our mangrove trees to be sold out kay el mga bakery. Ben strong gatausa ko nele kay very strong elwood. But again, remember, folks, listeners, there's a law already that prohibiting the cutting of mangrove trees. Because if you will be caught, it's already a criminal case. Because accordingly, cutting a mangrove tree is just like killing a person to live. Because whatever happens, the mangrove trees helps us very well. One, they are protecting our coastal areas. Ano ba nagagawa ng mga mangrove trees sa coastal area natin? Kung merong tsunami, it could help minimize the impact. And number 2, a very important habitat for our fishes to spawn. Manganak ang ating mga isda. Yan na lang ang technical human term natin. This is a place where our fishes go and hide and they give birth to their children fishes para everybody will understand. Kaya when you are in a mangrove or in a coastal area with full of mangrove trees, you could really see that there are really fry, not French fries, fry, na agwa. So numao sa reskuhi kanila po na aquarium because they are not aquarium fishes. They will not survive. They are not ornamental, but they are there to propagate. And after that, they will also go back to the wild and they will grow into maturity size for us to be able to harvest them with our fishermen. And if the fisherman was able to catch well, then the cycle of life starts again. With the fish, we eat, and the money we buy the fish, we help everyone. So it's a continuous cycle of life. So kung yung mangrove na lang ay papatayin mo, saan man ngayon ang cycle ang mag-start? Mawala na tayo ng mangrove areas, mawala na tayo ng spawning areas, breeding areas of our fishes, then later on we will not anymore have fishermen. If we don't have fishermen, we don't have any more fish. Wawa naman tayo. So tayo pa rin ang magiging impact to this. Again, our institution is developing our Campus B, our aquaculture center, into an eco-aquatourism. Our Campus B is 24 hectares. Of course, we have the College of Fisheries and Marine and Natural Sciences there on the other side, of course, headed by Dr. Oliver Tito. Okay? So, yun. That area is our carbon sequestration sink program. So it means our mangrove forest is being developed, and we would like also to invite our listeners, if you happen to visit Fort Pilar, if you would like to feel the freshness of the air in our mangrove forest, then just feel free to inform our guard and you would like to visit our eco-aquatourism park. And of course, we can always share the wonders of nature. Okay? So yun. These are the activities that the CSC MST is doing at the same time. Now, we are inviting people in the community to help us. That's why we are open for mangrove planting. It's not only mangrove planting, but mangrove growing at the same time. Nowadays, we don't anymore do planting. We do growing. Okay? Kasi these are really a big, ang laki ng tulong niya sa environment. The awareness in the protection of Mother Earth. And number 2, do we do waste segregation at home? Akal mga basura di aton. Let me just remind you how our waste. Okay. As far as mga plastics di aton. Don't you know that mabubulok daw siya after 1,000 years? Do we do recycling of this? How about akal mga pet bottles, the soft drinks, the water? 450 years. Maya, onde kita. As far as mga diapers, unfair for na diapers, no? But of course, we're using that. How responsible we are. 250 to 500 years bago siya mabulok. Mga cans natin, it's 200 years. Okay, for those who are smoking your cigarette butts, what? 12 years. And so on. Again, el panty liners, del di aton mga tausa. Tabuta lang onde-onde. Si entra na CR, talya syempre. Senebes, takore el pero, tagara pale. What? 800 years bago siya mabulok. You see, if all of these are accumulated in our rivers, in our sea, what will happen to our environment? Are we responsible enough to throw all of this anywhere? And yet, pag magbaha, automatically you will what? Blame our government. You will blame the general services of CSC MST or the general services of the city. Why is it that our waste are not being brought to our dumping sites? My goodness. Our dumping site is just has enough space to dump all of this. But if we do recycling at home, then we can reuse, we can reduce the proliferation of this waste. Are we doing that, our avid listeners? Are we doing that at home? Akal ba di aton mga basura na kasa, especially akal mga if we feel some vegetables, mango, apples, well, banana, these are what? These are biodegradable waste. What do we do with them? You make a hole at home, do a composite waste para magiging fertilizer siya. Kung ayaw mo naman, ilagay mo siya kaagad sa mga plants natin. Let it sa in Filipino manlata ya ele. Di ba?
Yan.
Okay. If this are there in the plants, definitely it adds fertilizer. It fertilizes the soil itself. That is why, again, pasensya na, but I am again reiterating that no burning of waste anytime is allowed. DENR has a law on that. If you will caught na, pasensya lang kita. 6 months imprisonment. Akal mga tabare kita na kasa if we're sweeping our grasses, the dried leaves. Don't burn that. Huwag niyong sunugin po. That's pinagbawal yan ng ng pamahalaan. Because these are carbon dioxide that will be emitted in our air, in our atmosphere. Abla el uno pa, ay, poko lang man se. Kwanto ora, ay, poko lang man se. Next, alaman niya na ulit. The following day, you will say, ay, this is the only one. The following day, this is the only one. If we keep on telling this is the only one, then that only one become only 2, only 3, only 4, only 5, and that becomes more. So, let us do recycling. Do compost pit. In our areas, bore a hole, you put all of that there, and at the end of the day, the following day, later on, you can get even fertilizer out of it. So there are really lots of ways for us to be able not to be burning. If we will be burning again, okay, let's do it. Once a week. But again, if we can just minimize burning. Okay? I myself is sometimes nakokonsensya because sometimes we do burn the egg the egg trays that we have, because accordingly the egg trays are also mosquito killers, pero my goodness, still it emits carbon dioxide in the atmospheres, and again, every little of this contribute much. So refrain from doing so, okay? To help Mother Earth. Again, you will be telling me, sir, ako lang man to, sir. Siya hindi ginagawa. Tapos sila rin hindi gumagawa. So at least ginagawa mo. At least you started to yourself. And if you can convince your friend, then 2 of you will also be doing that. Until such time that these values of recycling materials, the values of taking care of our environment is there. So hayaan mo, if they're not doing it, you do it yourself. Because in every actions that we do, it will always create a ripple. Kasi masarap din yung dumating yung araw na pag meron ng sakuna, meron ng disaster. Am I praying for disaster? I'm not. But if this is the only time that can people realize how important it is to protect Mother Earth, then ang dami nang dumaan, ang dami nang nangyayari. Kailan pa tayo mag-start to do our part to protect Mother Earth? Pag natamaan na tayo, God forbid, and we keep on praying, and we keep on thanking God that Zamboanga City, Zamboanga Peninsula is spared from all these catastrophic activities. Okay, so we are very, very happy na it does not really do direct effect to us. But again, we can also do our part by planting and growing more trees. Ngayon, we are happy that the plantitos and plantitas are anywhere. When pandemic strikes us, there are also other activities to flourish. So good. I am really happy noting that there are really lots of people who are craving to plant, be it ornamental, be it trees, fruit trees. Again, this is a good thing for us. Even vertical gardening. If you don't have much land area at home, you can do vertical. Akal mga taman bitay-bitay, mga recyclable materials, then that will be very okay. Okay? Again, we are, as human being, we are also very creative. That does not limit ourselves and telling us na wala nga kaming lupa kasi nga kulang ang lupa doon sa area namin. Pag gusto, may paraan. Pag ayaw naman, maraming dahilan. Yun talaga ang diferensya sa atin. Okay? So, climate change. Let us start it within us. Let us start it within ourselves. When we are confronted with situation, do we use water wisely? Do we use electricity responsibly? Okay? Pag gumagamit ba na tayo ng tubig sa bahay natin, are we safeguarding? Ay, okay lang yan. Pwede naman bayaran ni mama at papa. Marami kaming pera. But remember, our source of fresh water is also depleting. If we don't know how to use water responsibly, one of these days, you will open your faucet, there is no more water. Okay lang sir, meron naman kaming mineral water na kaimbak. So, see. Pero saan ba galing yung mineral water? Di ba nasa tap water siya? Ginawa lang siyang proseso. So, take note of that. Again, pag meron bang malakas na ulan, are we saving rainwater at home for domestic use? Or we just leave, bahala na yan siya si rain. Okay? Even yung panglinis ng ating kubeta, panglinis ng ating mga surrounding, if we have rain, catch water from rain, we can use that. Okay? That is one way to protect Mother Earth from overusing our fresh water supply. Are we doing that? Okay, electricity. Malaki naman yung pera ni Papa. We can pay bills up to 15,000 a month. Wow. Grabe. Yes, you have the money. But what will happen if you don't have any more the source of this energy? Okay? NGCP does not get electricity anywhere. They produce it. For Zamboanga, Samselco is paying NGCP for that. Okay, may pera nga tayo, pero pag wala namang source of electricity, wala naman. So what's the point I'm trying to say? Switch off and unplug all electrical gadgets that are not being used, especially at home. Because this simple thing that we do will always help save electricity. Saan bang galing sa electricity? Sa nature pa rin. Pag hindi natin ginamit si nature ng waldas, hindi natin winaldas yung pwedeng maibigay sa atin ni nature, definitely we can save all of this. So, switch off unused equipment, electrical equipment at home. Pag hindi gagamitin, unplug. Even here in school, we are advocating to our employees, to our students, our faculty, switch off the lights, switch off all gadgets that are not being used. Hindi lang kayo nakaka-save sa gasto sa kuryente, you can even prevent fire and other related disaster.
Correct ka dyan.
Ayun. So I hope this will be embedded to everyone who are listening, not only by mind but by heart. Because if you only understood it by mind, sometimes you don't have the appreciation of these values. Definitely, it will just be for the sake of learning, but there is no actions then. Okay, even yung mga sinasabi nating our chargers, pag natapos ng gamitin, i-unplug lang sa cellphone, iwanan yung chargers nakakabit. Don't you know that it's still eating even a little account of current? So switch it off, unplug it para hindi na siya masunog. At the same time, you can save your electricity bill. Next, as far as the use of water, are we checking our faucet at home? Our connections, our line sa tubig. Hindi nga siya nakikita na there are problems, but underneath, andun na pala yung mga leaking. Okay? So, at the end of the or during the billing time, you are wondering why is it that my water bill is so high? Dalawa lang kami sa bahay. Yun pala yung mga connections natin. Do we do that regularly on checking our connections at home? Are we doing that for the sake of prevention? Prevention for higher payment and prevention from unnecessary use of fresh water. So these are simple things. Are we doing this at home? Huwag ding sabihin na hindi siya contributive factor to help environment. At the end of the day, these are all part of how we preserve Mother Earth. Pag hindi natin ginagawa yan, so ano kayang magawa na natin? Sabihin nyo pa, Sir, isa lang ako. Sabi ko nga kanina, okay lang yan. Pag nakita ka ng friend mo, friend, bakit mo ginagawa yan? Ay, nakakatulong yan mag-save ng money. Nakakatulong yan mag-save ng current. Nakakatulong yan mag-save sa environment. Kaya gawin natin. O yung electric fan, hindi naman ginagamit. Wala namang tao sa loob. But we don't care to switch it off. Again, pag nag-overheat yung electric fan, pag ginamit siya ulit, wala naka-electric fan, na-overheat kasi siya eh. Kahit walang tao, naka-under pa rin. So be responsible to that. So, again, how do we prevent the more dreaded effect of climate change to us? We adapt to the situation. We understand that there is this phenomenon already. Because whether we like it or not, it's already in our environment. It's already in our system. For us to be able to survive, we adapt the situation. Sabi nga sa pinalabas natin kanina or as far as instructions a while ago, what you have to do is to study your environment. Use your environment wisely. Our national government has this national ang tawag nila, National Framework Strategy on Climate Change. This help out on how we are going to help mitigate the situation. And we also have Republic Act 97291 or the Act Mainstreaming Climate Change in all policy making activities in the Philippines. So we already have law. We have legal basis to plant trees. Why do we need to cut it? Again, babalik na naman ako. There is a law encouraging, mandating everyone to grow trees. Porque takurta kita. Diba? So reminding also, what we have to do if we have some development, we have to follow environmental related projects or plans. If we have an actual tree growing and very healthy in the environment in our area, then try to do plan that tree will be part of your architectural design or part of your plan. Not because you are going to put up a building, you're going to cut the tree. Bueno, ken ba yan una? L3 or L building? So again, our suggestion as part of our environment advocacy, the tree should form part of your design. Because the tree is there to support us. Numa kita kurta kone se pono, kay ase kita building. Na, ese pa. Again, it may be difficult in a way, but we need to understand this because it's not easy to grow a tree. Okay? It's not easy, especially our centennial trees. Okay, in Petit Barracks or anywhere in Zamboanga City, we have really big trees around. So, let us not irresponsibly do cutting of this. Okay? So again, I am also advocating this to our very own institution. For those who cannot or who are listening who have not visited Zamboanga State College of Marine Sciences and Technology, come and visit us and you will feel that we are a so-called environmental friendly institution. We even call ourselves a forest school because we are full of plants and trees for us to be able to combat the warmness of our environment. Akagane, maskin manade kami pono, we still feel very warm. What more sinuway? Diba? So what we have to do now is just to trim. If it reaches the cable wires of our electricity, then we need to cut. We need to trim. If it reaches to our roofings, then we need to trim, but not to cut and kill the trees. Okay? So this is just a friendly reminders to everyone because our trees are trappers of carbon dioxide and other green gases also. They suck this out from the environment and they put it in their system because they help it out. The plants are also trappers of, they trap carbon dioxide and other. So why do we need to cut our plants? Again, to our plantitos and plantitos around, I encourage you to plant more trees, to plant more plants, so that this will always be part of your support to environment. Okay. So, I guess, do we have some texters or in our live streaming? Okay. So, we are still waiting for any reactions from our students, just like the other time, because this info campaign is directly for our students who are under the National Service Training Program. This is part of your environmental education and awareness. Okay? Again, part of your module is for us to be able to impart all this information to you. But again, it may be limited because we cannot really show all of it, but we can give you all these ideas and concern. You can also click Google. Google has all the information as far as climate change is concerned. But for us now, in our situation here, we are talking about the actual situation that we have in the actual field or in the actual war zone. This is the war zone. What I mean by war zone, war against climate change. What we have to do is to mitigate. When we talk about mitigation, we'll try to do things that will lessen the emission of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases. How do we do that? Again, yung sinabi ko kanina, we plant trees, we clean our environment, protect the environment. Again, this may not be or we are still uncertain if this will really let's say this will fully support the lessening of the warming of the earth. But again, these are parameters. Bakit nangyayari yung pag-init ng ating mundo? So, let's plant trees, let's drop all these greenhouse gases, let's stop burning, irresponsible burning anywhere and anytime. Of course, as far as our energy is concerned, we use renewable energy. Okay? Take use of the wind, the air, okay, if it's too hot, let's take use of this temperature to generate electricity. And stop using what? Energy that will contribute in our carbon dioxide emission. Get our fossil, our coal, the fossil fuels, okay, on the bow. What are those? Especially our companies who are using coal. I hope this will be realized. Again, the impact of all of this. The Philippines is a developing country. We are just one of those who are really greatly affected by climate change. We may emit so little, but we are directly and the one is being hit by climate change effect. When it rains, when it pours so much. When we have La Nino, when drought comes in, extended, no more production of our rice field because there is no more water. Okay? And we don't also recommend any more cloud seeding accordingly. It's not any more healthy. But of course, that could support in a way. But it's not anywhere advisable to be doing so. Okay? So, again, for our students, let's start at home. We will show you the different, we have our top 15 ways to low emission development strategies. Okay? So let us take note of this and I'll just expound a little. Okay, sir?
Here are the top 15 ways to minimize our greenhouse gas emissions. Grow a tree.
Switch off and unplug.
Minimize the use of plastics.
Practice waste segregation.
Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Avoid burning of waste.
Promote the use of renewable energy.
Bring your own bottle or tumbler.
Promote and use energy-efficient appliances and electronics.
Be a climate-smart road user.
Reduce electronic waste.
Be familiar with Philippine environmental and energy laws.
To conserve water, use tabo and timba when taking a bath.
Use less paper.
Support Mother Earth-loving products.
It's our mission.
Stop the emission. Generation towards a greener nation.
Okay. So, top 15 for us to follow. These are very simple, Because what was the first instruction? For us to be able to do this, one is we need to plant more trees. Plant more trees, plant more trees, plant more trees. Grow trees, maintain. Number 2, switch off our appliances. Unused appliances at home. We don't use it, unplug it. Okay? Number 3, stop using plastic containers, plastic straw. Kasi if, although sometimes it need to have this, but in most cases you don't need straw. Kasi straw are made of plastics. Again, pag nagamit mo siya in 3 seconds or 4 seconds, itapon mo. Nasaan siya papunta? Wala. Nasa environment. And meron ding straw na gamit na papel. Again, saan ba galing yung papel? Ang papel ay galing sa trees. So if you are going to use more papers, then you're going to we project that there will be more cutting of trees in the future because we need that. Okay, top 4. Waste segregation. Do you do waste segregation at home? Do you do reuse, reduce, and recycle? Okay? Because these are very, very important. Before, there is a law already in Zamboanga City that every Saturdays and Sundays, all our establishment don't have to use plastics. But I don't know, because of pandemic, bumalik sila sa plastic. There is no sustainability. Sometimes,